Hey, everybody. Good morning. So we're just going to get started here, as always. When you have an idea and you see something, just throw it out, and we'll go from there. I have a ton that I want to go over, but let's see where this goes, and we'll go from there. So let's just dig right into this, and we'll see how we go. But to start with, we're just going to address this. A lot of people are looking at this morning, and you're really breaking out here. You really are breaking out on this, and I think that I think you really need to take a look at that, right? You need to understand why this is breaking out. Can this continue? Yes. So this was our first level. Next level is 1050. Right? I mean, that's really what you're looking for. You're looking for the next level at 1050. So see if it pushes to there and then go from, that's really what you want to say. So if you can get to that 200-day, it's going to be really interesting because now you have this curve with the 8 crossing the 21 and getting through this and pushing. And you could just see a lot of people really having an interest in this. So Bitcoin names are obviously coming in today. You're seeing that off the open. I don't know how long that lasts. If it does last at all, that's something to really consider. But let's see how that plays out. But just start throwing. These are what I have up from last night. I do want to cover this to start. Look, there is a ton of uncertainty about what's going on here. Okay. And I just want to go through this. This is nasty. This long red bar, this is really, really nasty stuff. And when you see this, you don't just go from here and go right back up. It doesn't work that way unless they make an announcement, right? Unless you have a fundamental change. So what you need to understand is that this is going to bounce around. The first place that this may get to, and I say may get to, is 392, okay, which would be the 8-day. That's your first real hurdle here. So for those in the community, we know we took an option position yesterday. I was looking for nothing more than this, like a little pop this morning, sell the option and move forward. I'll see how it trades off the open, but that's all I was really looking for out of it. I wasn't looking for anything crazy. So I hope that helps. And, I expect the same with mRNA. You're going to bounce around. You might bounce to this 8-day, but I think you're going to bounce around in here and build an H and a bear flag and then kind of go from there. So I hope that's helpful. Good morning, Brandon. So shop till you drop. I love that name. I love that name, and I keep getting stopped out of it. And I'm glad I keep getting stopped out of it because that looks nasty. So really what you're doing is you're just in a base, right? And we could probably look at that base, Janice, a little closer this way here. So if you look at it and you look at it on the weekly just a little bit, right? What is this really telling us? It's really telling us just this, right? That's really our level. I mean, that's really the level that you have to contend with, okay? So you could play this two different ways. You could sell it if it breaks this level, or you could wait for it to close below this. If you close below this level, you're going to have an issue. And if you break below this issue, this 14, you're going to have an issue. Other than that, it's just risk on. And you just have to realize that you're in a very long-term, slow grinding trade. And it will grind higher. It's just going to take time. Doesn't mean that it can't bounce down to here, go back up. It can. But you're just in a slow grind trade. I love the name, but as far as like trying to trade it right now or see an impetus to be in it, it just doesn't exist. You're actually even extending out here. Look, you're even actually extending this out here. So it's not something you need to be rushing into right now. Yeah. Hey, Defy. Yeah. Let's look at Cat. I'm looking at those names today. For these kinds of names, I don't look for the one-hit wonders. I'm looking for them to actually break out and go. So to me, off the open, I think that Cat is probably actionable. If I take out a higher high here, okay, then essentially what I'm saying, or to me, what I'm saying is that I'm probably going higher, right? I'm at least going to go to this 227, 229. But if I was to hold in here, the chances of me breaking below that 50-day or greater, right? So all we're really dealing with is probabilities, right? Like we really don't know anything. We think we know, but we just really don't. So you have to assess probabilities to everything. And the probability of this getting a higher high, okay, and then breaking the 50-day is pretty minute that's going to happen. Now, this is not going to be this high flying stock, but you're going to trade to this level. I mean, this is going to happen. If this goes, right, this is where you're going to be. You're going to get up to here, 250, 260. It's 20%. There's nothing wrong with 20%. It's just going to take a long time with Caterpillar. It is going to take time, but just getting above and 1 more inch above that, which we're doing this morning. And to me, this is risk on with, this really needs to be your stop, the low of that bar, right? That needs to be your stop. But that's the trade that I see there for CAT. And look at this here. We'll go through it. Okay. Look at this. I mean, like, are you kidding? All I need, right? Like you can see how you broke here. Okay. So breaking here, just to go through this, breaking here, 369. What did that do? It got you through here. You had follow through the other day. My only concern with not touching this one yet, and I say yet, was just this level up here that I've rejected already. And as people know, I like to say the first mouse gets the trap, second one gets the cheese. So this is probably what's going to happen here. This is going to break out deer, and then you have this enormous channel on deer that's going to take us higher. It could take us into the 5s. And if you think it can't do it, you're wrong. Okay. From the bottom to the trough, this is up 3x in a year. You think it can't go up another 100%? Yeah, it absolutely can. So we're going to watch this level on this one very, very closely. But CAT to me seems like the better, easier trade right now. So let's keep going. Penn. So let's take a look at Penn and let's see what's going on there. Good morning, Utu. So, I keep waiting for this to break out, right? We're in our slot. We're in our time zone. College football, we're right around the corner. Everything we should be rocking and rolling. And it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. So that concerns me. This could be down too because you have physical locations. And we really don't know what's going on with this virus. Like, it's not as bad as it was before, but and this is not political, as your facts. Like you're seeing hospitalizations uptick. That continues. People are going to wear masks. Forget any regulations that come out by our government. People in and of themselves are just not going to go out and travel as much. So maybe that's what's going on there. Now, when you look at DraftKings, you're seeing a higher relative strength. If you want to be in that space, I would argue that you need to be looking at this name because you have the 8 pointing up, the 21 pointing up, the 21's about to cross the 50. Here, I'm at my 200. I keep knocking on that door. What happens if I keep knocking on a door? Eventually, someone's going to open it. You might not like what happens, but that door is going to get opened, right? So 53.36, flip it, and then you can go higher. This is a better name if you're trying to play that space. If you're just trying to buy Penn because you want to support Portnoy or you like the stock, cool. But not until I get above that 200-day, because that's telling me that I don't have institutional sponsorship, new institutional sponsorship yet. And that's what I need to make a better informed decision. So I hope that's clear, Charles. Shop we covered. MU. Let's do MU. Let's get through MU. And MU's breaking down like nasty. And this is when you buy it. I hate to say it like that, but when you're breaking down like this is when you need to start looking at it, and you start looking for spots that might make sense, right? And spots that might not hold. But this is how this stock trades. And I'm not a big buyer of stocks below the 200-day, but this one is just very different. And here, look. So let's get rid of this because we've broken this. This is negated, right? And let's just clone this line for 1 minute and see if it just happens to fit anywhere. So it just kind of happens to fit right in there, right? So Now we know what our channel is. See how we just figured out what our channel is? So I'm at the bottom end of the channel. Well, how does this go when I buy this at the bottom end of the channel? Well, if I bought it at the bottom end of the channel here, right? And how far does this channel go back? And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but I'm doing it for a reason. So this channel goes back to here. That's really it. Okay. So that would mean that our best target is going to be this $85. That's the best that you could hope if you break the channel right now. So if you come here and you go, well, every time it hits this level, if I bought here, would I have done okay? Okay. See the reversal of the morning star? See the reversal of the morning star? Okay. See how I test here and I hold? What am I looking for here? I'm looking for a morning star pattern. Okay. So really what I'm hoping is it's not today. What I'm hoping is that we hold this level and then we form like this little doji like we did here. And then I flip the doji and then that could be my buy with this line as my stop. And then you could wind up grinding higher up to these 80s. But I'm interested in buying this. This is when you buy it. It's ugly. It's just super ugly. But that's how I would trade MU. Bernard, I hope that's helpful. Hey, Dan, good morning. So let's get at it. FSAS and PAVE. So what's this doing? Everything perfectly, right? This has been on a list of mine. I've stayed off of it because I'm focused more on the individual names. I went with Goldman for the newsletter for those that are in this room right now that get the newsletter and are in the community. Can this tear? Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, you're getting to the point where you want to see this. Look at this. Okay, so you're here, 126.65. Where are you here? 126.50. Okay, where did you close? 127 was the high. Where'd you close? 126.86. So I closed right around that level. See where I'm going with this? So this would be the first real breakout. This would be your cup. You could form a handle after this and then push higher, but this is your cup. Now you could base before you push again, but this is going higher. Okay, there's a firm belief that you need to be in these names right now. I mean, that is what you're starting to see here. So that's starting to continue. And as we're talking, just FYI, I'm watching this BNTX, and now we're up over 4%. So it seems to be moving in the right direction this morning. We'll see how high that can actually get. PAVE, I want to cover you because that got away from me yesterday. And I don't like when things get away from me, but that did. So I'll just own it. Broke out. Not much to say. Global X funds infrastructure. It's coming. This is a great way to play it. We started with the steel names yesterday, but this is a great way to play this name, and it's a great way to look at this. So just consider that. Just consider this. Off the open, you can see what you're doing here, right? I think these are going to continue. You needed to see follow through in that space, right? And you're seeing it. Does it make sense to play this versus buying Caterpillar, John Deere, those names? Sure. If this is what you want, you're going to have more stability and less upside. But yeah, absolutely. And then this could just grind higher. So if you look at the peak to trough of this versus Caterpillar, John Deere, US Steel, you'll see that this will underperform, but it's also going to smooth out all the curves and edges. So you're not going to be dealing with any of that nonsense. So that's one way to play it. I definitely want to cover. I definitely want to cover you. So this was a stock that simply defied, right, what was going on in software yesterday. And I think that's worth noting. You see how you opened here right at that 106.44 level. Okay, that was perfect. What I wanted to see was I wanted to get above this stuff, but opening here and flipping, this was just a very simple trade. And it was not one that I followed through on, but let's get rid of this data. Okay, all you really see here is this is the first 15 minutes. In the first 15 minutes, you got through major support, major resistance, right? And look at what you did. Okay. You broke out and you went. And then after you went, you came all the way back down to here and you tested that breakout and then you went. So this did everything right that it needed to do yesterday. Now the question is, am I going to sit under this 122.80 level, or am I going to go? And I don't have an answer for that. Is this going to be a one-day hit, or is it going to go? This was the highest volume that you've had in this for a very long time. I don't know where it stands on a relative basis, but it's definitely worth looking at. So yeah, I mean, this is the second highest relative volume mark you've ever had. That usually does not go away and usually does not constitute a one-hit wonder. It's actually the highest buying relative volume you've ever had, because this was a negative event. So I would definitely keep that in mind. Was that earnings? Yeah, that was earnings. So this is exactly what you want to see. It's probably because they lost substantially less money than people anticipated. So we'll see how it plays out. But I like the name. I like the name a lot, and it acted very, very well. So, hi, Dennis. So in regards to Docu, I think Docu's kind of busted out here. There's a thing here. We got stopped at break even yesterday on this. I still have an options position in this that probably will just go worthless. Look, some stocks held yesterday, some stocks didn't. Okay. And that's how you need to look at it. Nothing more than that. Some stocks held yesterday and some didn't. Some broke out, looked like they were going to take out new highs, and we got all giddy, right? And some broke those lows and came down. Docu's one of those that did that. Okay, Docu decided to go below the 21-day. That's not something I want to be in. And you're seeing a pattern here with these names now where they're starting to break down. Like this technically, like here's Zoom to put it in perspective to kind of give you an idea where my head is. Like that's a short. That triggered a short. Breaking this, if someone was looking for a short, I would say, oh, you should probably be looking at Zoom right now, because we just started breaking the rising wedge. We could go down, and where would that lead to? Well, 376 would be your stop, right? Worst case, but that could absolutely get a lot worse. So when we break down like this, we can say, oh, it was the market yesterday. We can make excuses. I don't care. I broke down. It broke. That's it. It's over. So now I need this to set up again, and hopefully it will. Hopefully it'll hang in here and it won't go past this. So if you get past this, 288, you're going to your 50-day pretty quickly. So just keep that in mind. But to me, so again, some stocks held and some didn't, and this one did not. So it's not something I'd be holding. Hope that's clear. PLL. So right to the 50-day and stop. Pretty clear what it needs to do, right? What's it need to do? Get through the 50-day and get through the 66. Let me move this up here and get through that 66.70. Until then, not touching it. Docs. So, yeah, I mean, that's a move. That's a move. That's a really very interesting move. So here, look. That's what you're looking for. Was this earnings? It doesn't look like it was an earnings event. I'm not sure why this did what it did. I don't have earnings. I don't have the data in front of me, but that's a heck of a move. And it's not one that was on my radar yesterday. But if you get above the 72, you could see this continue. That's enormous volume. I mean, you were averaging what? 800,000. Now what are you averaging? 4 million. Wow. That's enormous. Get through this, which it looks like it's going to do this morning, right? Look for your little pattern or, one of your confirmation moves. And then I would be looking at this very, very strongly. That it's definitely one that, it's definitely going to be on my radar today, just looking at it. This looks great. I'll just put a little alert on it just to keep me abreast of it when it goes off in the morning. But I like that a lot. I mean, that could go. UPST, look, I think this goes. I think that they bid it up yesterday. I think they're bidding it down today in the hopes that people are going to sell it and panic and get out of it. I don't think that's going to be the case. And I fully expect this to gap and go. So we'll see. We'll see what it really does. But when you're doing this yesterday here, like, look at this. Okay. Look at all the buying at the end of the day. Okay. That's institutions not wanting you to show what they're doing. And now here we come in, right? So I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the sell off. So, and again, as we're talking, just to point this out, BNTX looks like it's about ready to push here, break out, and go. We're up about 5% on BNTX. It's outperforming MRNA so far, and these things are hitting pre-market highs, and we'll see how that plays out today, but just something to keep on your radar. So net, please, AT, looks to be breaking down. You know, I didn't get that vibe from it, that it's breaking down. I mean, here's what I got from it. Okay, here's my upper trend line. Okay, and when you're battling this, so you've been battling this, right? And you can actually draw this differently now, right? Because it's changed a little bit. Okay, and you can see now how that line, right? And remember, the market's dynamic, so these lines move. If you think they don't move, you're being too stagnant. So they can move. So look. We keep hitting this level over and over and over again. What did we form at the top of this level? Right? We formed an evening star pattern that executed perfectly. What did we do? We reverted to the mean. What is the mean? The 21-day moving average. Nothing's broken here. Doesn't mean that we're going, I'm not telling you we're definitely going up. I'm just telling you that I have no idea. I have no idea what we're doing. But I'm telling you that this is not surprising. And I expect this to grind higher over time. It's not something that I would be panicking. I don't like nasty red bars. Everybody knows this about me, right? But it's not something I'd be panic selling here. I'd want confirmation. Close below the 21-day, and I'd probably be out of it if I was you. Although we've done that before. Pardon me. We've done that before, and we see how that's going. Let's just keep going. Yeah, I could pop symbols up, buddy. I'll pop up symbols. So, I don't know that I would do a straddle on this. I mean, you can. Why bother? Why not just buy it? Why not just buy what you want? I mean, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to hedge, right, and have somebody pay for it. You know, I don't know. You're going to really have to watch this. I don't know that you're in a position right now that I would be putting on a long straddle here, right? I'm not sure that you're in the position to do that. You could just base here. And if you do that and you put on that straddle, then you're going to be in a position where you're just bleeding. So I'm not so sure you want to do that here. I would wait to see if you get more of a definitive move than just sitting here, right? Some people might actually say that you want to do a short straddle in here. So just because you maybe you're going to base and just hang out, right? And just try to book premium on both sides. So it's not something I would be doing. Up and plantar. So let's look at this. So I know that UP had great earnings. Or I'm sorry, Planter had great earnings. UP, this is not something I would go near. You know, I don't know what the wheels up experience is, but so far it just looks like an absolute disaster with these huge wicks. So this is not something that I would be near. To me, this actually looks like you're about to roll and break. So that's not, again, so that again is not something that I would go near. In regards to, let's take a look at PLTR. So I was looking at this one this morning, and let me just toggle. Right? So look, you're going right to here. That's your next spot. There's really no reason you're not going to grind up there. And let's just throw this in so people can understand this too. This is a great stock to just look at volume by price. Okay. Why am I saying that? Because these are your key levels, right? This is what you have to get through. You have to get through 24, 40, 25, 52. You're going to have to, you got through your point of control today. Getting through this probably gets you to 27.44. That would be my first target on it, looking at it. VERU, let's take a look. So no, it's not something I would go near. It looks like you bid up, you ran, and now you're pulling back down. It's not something that I would go near. It just looks like they tried to lure people in and were pretty successful at it. DDD, I like. You need more time. I don't think this trade's over. I really don't. But you tried to break and you failed, right? So there's not much more to do here except what? Let it do what it's going to do. And that's what we have to figure out. We have to figure out what that is, right? So that could be a huge push, but it hasn't figured out what it wants to be yet. Right now, I'm just basing. See how I'm basing under here? So maybe I'll form a mini wedge here. Maybe I'll have another inside day today, right? But watch this 33 level. You don't want to close below that now. So, I mean, look, if people think that they're not going to raise rates, eventually they're going to raise rates. Are they going to do it anytime soon? I don't believe so. I don't think there's anything here with ARC that looks terribly awful. You're just basing, right? I mean, this was one we bought around here in the newsletter, and we did fairly well with it. I think we wanted to stop getting stopped out around 128, 129. But, you know, now you're just basing. There's really nothing to do with it. Just sit, watch, and wait. Once we close below the 8-day, you can see that was it, right? And that's really what you have to see. You have to find these levels. But what do you do now with it? I mean, I don't think it's telling you anything, and I don't know what the Fed's going to do. I don't think the Fed knows what it's going to do. So me trying to figure that out is very difficult. HD. So let's just see here. Hold on. I'm just checking something really quickly. Okay. HD, you're breaking out. It looks like you're going to go. I mean, you've broken this level finally, and now you look like you're going to push. So this could keep going. You could see this continue to push. Yeah, I got to put the symbols up. I'll do that. Yeah, that's exactly what I think it could do. I absolutely think it could just like undercut and rally, right? It totally could. You're welcome, Bernard. Planter is going to be hard to enter now, right? Because Planter is one of those stocks that when you buy, when it's starting to go up, what's it do? It just it reverses on you. It makes you second guess everything that you're doing. So I'm not chasing this. I mean, to me, there's too many levels, right? So I'm hoping I stay above point of control. I'm hoping I stay above the 200-day. I'm hoping I get above this VWAP. I'm hoping I get to here. I mean, it's 3 points of just aggravation. So to me, there's just better trades out there than this. So this is not something that I'll be jumping in and running into, but it doesn't mean that it's not going to work. So it's just not for me. Amazon, I think the pain might be over. If it's not over, I have a position in this today, or I have a position in this, and I'm real close to just blowing it out. This is just very clearly, when you leave these pre and post data in, you can just see this is very clearly a bear flag that formed an H that's breaking. My hope is that I hold this 200-day. I'm not so sure. And if I break that 200-day, I'm just going to bounce around here. I'm not going to break the 200-day in reverse and go back up. I'm going to break the 200-day and then sit under it for like a month or two. And I'm in an options position. And it's already down. So it's time to kick it if that happens. So AMC, AMC is going to continue to look weak, I think. So I'll stay for like another minute or two since I started late. You see how your line's right there? Yeah. I mean, I'm just not going near it. This is really very interesting though, because this is really where you may actually see a bounce because you didn't break. Like if you're not going to break now on that earnings, what's going to get you to break? Right. So maybe you're going to hold here. So you have a lot of people that are rotating in and out of these names. They're rotating out of this, right? And rotating out of the hood because, they decided to do another secondary and screw everybody again. And they're rotating out of this name. And those people that are rotating out of those names, they're buying AMC and GME. For what reason, besides that they're all doing it, I don't really know. Hey, Jared. So let's just go through this. Boo boo. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I would see how this acts. I don't think this moves over. If that's what you're asking. I don't. The fact that you closed above the 31.45 level is pretty much everything you need to know. Now you just need to see how we act today. Let's see if we can keep staying above there. Maybe we're going to break out, form a flag, and then go. I mean, that could very well be the case. So we're going to have to watch that and see how it plays out. But it's definitely not something I would be chasing. I would let it base and figure out what you want to do. Docs was earnings yesterday. Okay, I don't know why that's not showing up. CMG, let's do CMG, and then we're going to get going here. Hey, Swing. So CMG, yeah, I mean, you had a nice run. When was the last time you broke the 8-day? Was here. How did that respond? By going to the 21-day. We broke the 8-day here. Wait, where are we? We broke the 8-day here. How did that respond? We went to the 21-day. Broke the 8-day here. How did that respond? We went to the 21-day. I mean, see where I'm going with this? So I wouldn't be buying this until I got to that 21-day level. Etsy, SOV. Okay, I'm going to have to wrap this up. Let's do Sophie. So I know a lot of people are looking at this name. You need to get through this. And I know they're coming out with earnings because I was watching John talk about it. So, but I wouldn't go near that before earnings. GRWG. So again, look at your point of control. I understand you're near these levels, but I wouldn't touch it until you get above that. Let's do Etsy. You're welcome, Rob. Let's do Etsy, and then I'm going to wrap it up here. So, you know, sometimes I like leaving these older trend lines in, but we can see how this one's just completely negated. Right, you're completely negated. That looks, you know, not like something I would want to be in. When are earnings? You already had them. Yeah, remember you had earnings and they weren't good? I mean, you basically gap filled, right? You broke down, you opened, you got over the gap. They did enough of a wick to just kind of get the gap fill. And then you popped into that gap. And then that was pretty much it. You drove up ever since. So that's pretty much it. All right, I have to get going here, everyone. Have a great day. Swing, if you need me, just reach out and we'll go from there. Oh, thanks, Dan. That's very nice. But you keep saying you're going to post a link on the candlestick video. That link is usually in a card that's up there, or it's in a card that's up there. It's in the playlist called Trade Like a Pro. And it's also, I put it at the end of every video, the end screen. Every video has that candlestick video in it. At least I think it does. I'll post it in the community tab. I'll do it now. All right, everyone, have a great day.